Hey there, welcome or welcome back. My name is Madison, and today we're going back in time just a smidge, as I didn't even think I was going to be able to go on this trip, quite frankly, because the whole 3 days up to this, I was just sick as could be, hugging the toilet, if you know what I mean. That kind of a week. It was just rough, but my family had arranged for me to come join them, since now that I'm married, we don't really get family time like that anymore. My brother was desperately wanting a ski buddy, so they so kindly agreed to fly me out if I would spot the money for a ski pass, which I would gladly do to ski with my brother. And so that's exactly what I did. I miraculously was at least decent enough to get on a plane to fly. Just was feeling queasy a little bit, but nothing big. So thankful to be able to get to go on this trip. It was an amazing time, even though it was really just 2 full days. But anyways, I flew out after work one day. My sweet husband dropped me off, and then my parents drove an hour from Breckenridge back over to Denver to come pick me up. Going out for round 2. But our first day out on the slopes was another frigid day. I think it was like 5 degrees that morning prior to going and picking up I needed to pick up my ski pass. My mom, since she had waited for me to come out to save her knees, needed to go pick up her ski gear and ski rentals. That way we could all go skiing out on the slopes as a family, which would actually be the very first time I've ever skied with my whole family, since my mom, having some knee problems, doesn't usually get out on the slopes. So for that reason alone, and the fact that I'm now married and my brother's about to go off to college, it was an extremely special trip. Not to mention, back when I was a child, we went here in Breckenridge back in a summer. And I would say I was probably about 11 and my brother was 5 or so. And I just distinctly remember playing in a creek that we'll go back to later. And just, it felt so big back then. But obviously, since we were much smaller, everything seemed bigger. Unfortunately, I don't have any clips from actually being on the slopes. My dad and my brother had their GoPros, but those files are way too big to get to me, so I hope you guys enjoy some B-roll from the time in town and everything else. So what you're seeing here is the coffee shop we went to get some hot chocolates after a long day on the slope. And then here's that creek I was telling you guys about. These stones that are in it used to feel so big as a kid when we came here. In the picture my mom and I had, my brother and I standing on it, we look so small. But anyways, time just flies by, and it's just nice to come back to a place you've been to once before, especially when things are so very different now. So that unfortunately wrapped up my time in Breckenridge. It was really just a quick 48 hours, and because I obviously don't have any ski and snowboarding footage, you just get the B-roll. But this morning as we were leaving, Daylight Donuts is one of the breakfast shops that actually the owner originally lived in Louisville, which we found out when we first went there back in my childhood days of being like 11 or whatever. We tried to find the dollar bill that we wrote on the wall and stuck it there. It was impossible to find, so we did in fact put a new dollar bill up. That way we knew where it was, and even took a picture pointing to exactly where it was in relation to everything else. So as we enjoyed our donuts and apple fritters and cinnamon twist and long johns and all the delectable bites we had gotten from Daylight Donuts, we were then surprised to have probably one of the most beautiful sunrises I have ever witnessed in my entire life on our drive back to the Denver airport that morning. This is obviously just the start. The sun hasn't even came up over the mountains. The moon's even still out. But just you wait, it gets absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And all of us pretty much couldn't stop looking out the windows the entire drive back to the airport. Because as you were driving by, you would see frozen rivers and the light reflecting off of it. The snow-covered mountains, the ever-changing, just dreamsicle, vibrant, just overall stunning colors of the sunrise. Every time you looked, it was a little bit different and just seemed to get that much prettier. These clips right here are some of my absolute favorite. It came from being just a very pastel pretty sunset in that sense. Just full-blown neon orange in a way that I don't think I've ever seen, especially with the landscape just as stunning as this. I'm not sure I could ever live in Colorado. I do think it would be fun for a time, but honestly, the sunrise alone was just making me think that I could live here if every sunrise and sunset was this outrageously pretty. And just so you guys know, there's not a single filter or anything added to any of these clips. That's just what they are, the way they were taken, either out of the side of the car, through the windshield, whatever. All done with an iPhone, and they are all just beautiful. Like, it was the quickest 2-hour drive, hour and a half, 2-hour drive that I have ever done. Probably one of the most enjoyable too. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up our trip in Breckenridge. This was one of the first times I've ever skied a true black diamond, and honestly I was doing better on the black diamonds than pretty much any other ski run, ironically enough. So that was a really fun challenge for me, especially because we've just had like some very minor ski resorts near us in Kentucky, and then none that I know of here in Georgia quite yet. I know there's some over in the Carolinas that are pretty good. So hopefully maybe while we're down here in Georgia, we'll get a chance to go check out some of those. But for now, this was a nice little thing to do with family. And I hope that me and my husband get to do something similar here soon. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of this beautiful sunset, or not sunset, sunrise like I did. And hope you guys have a beautiful and blessed day. Catch you back in Georgia and or my next video. Bye guys.